Let's fast forward 6 years into the future. You have now graduated and are now independent from your parents. And you walk into the grocery store and you decide to buy yourself a little afternoon treat in the form of an apple. And so you walk to the fruit section and you notice that something's a little bit off. The apples have been separated into two piles, organic and non-organic. The organic costs $2.50 per pound, and the non-organic costs $1.20 per pound. And so now you have to make a decision. And similarly to this, many American consumers all over the nation have been having to make decisions just like this one, just because of the way organic prices have been rising higher and higher. And through my speech today, I hope to convince you all that organic produce is simply not worth the cost. And I like to make it very clear that when I refer to organic in any way during the speech, I refer only to fruits, vegetables, and crops. And with that, I will now debunk 3 of the most commonly used arguments by pro-organic supporters, which are that organic foods are safer and healthier for the human body, as well as better for the environment. Let's begin with the first. Many people believe that since organic food has less pesticides than conventional foods, that it is actually safer to consume. However, this is not necessarily the case. To quote a statement published by the FDA earlier in October, the Food and Drug Administration is responsible for enforcing amounts of pesticide residues that may legally remain on food, which means that no matter what you buy, whether it's organic or conventional, the amount of pesticides that remain on your food are being regulated, controlled, and constantly limited by the government. And with that being said, while it is true that organic produce does contain less pesticides than conventional produce, a study conducted by the U.S. Consumer Union Research Team proved that organic produce, on average, results in up to 30% less pesticide exposure. However, the question here is not the amount of pesticides on organic versus conventional, but whether these pesticides actually do result in bodily harm or disease. And as sad as it is for me to say this, there's actually no evidence that suggests that. And I know that this may cause concern in some of you, but a very great solution to this is to simply wash your fruits and vegetables very well, very carefully, and to make sure to remove any rinds, skins, or peels from the fruit or vegetable in order to reduce pesticide exposure as much as possible. It's a very common and it's a very easy solution. Now that I've talked about the safety of conventional produce, let's move on to the topic of nutrition. Many people believe that since organic produce is, farmed organically, that it is actually nutritionally healthier than conventional produce. However, that is not necessarily the case, yet again. A meta-analysis conducted by the British Journal of Nutrition in 2014 found that organic produce may contain higher levels of vitamins, antioxidants, and necessary fats. This study blew up all over the internet and is commonly used by pro-organic supporters to support their argument. However, there are 2 very important facts that have been often negated by these pro-organic supporters. The first is that the so-called public health benefits that are introduced by this article are actually so slight and so minuscule that they can hardly be called overall health benefits. And second of all, there are so many other vital factors that go into determining the nutritional value of a food product. And these can include weather, soil erosion, soil quality, packaging, shipping time, and also packaging. And so basically, when you're talking about the nutritional value of a product, you can't just chalk it down to whether it's organic or conventional. And now with that, let's move to the last argument, which is that organic food is better for the environment. Because of the way organic food is being marketed and advertised, many people believe that it is actually supportive of a more environmentally friendly farming system. However, there is strong evidence that suggests the exact opposite. In a 2017 study conducted by the Journal of Cleaner Production in Germany, the authors state that organic produce utilizes up to 40% more land than conventional produce for the same amount of crops being produced, which means that farming organic is not only less efficient than farming conventional, it actually takes a greater toll on the land. And to add, a paper published in 2015 by Dr. McGee, a professor of sociology at the University of Oregon, states that organic produce counterintuitively increases greenhouse gas emissions compared to conventionals, due to the fact that there's a heavy use of machinery and inefficient crop yields often found at organic farms. And with that being said, I believe I've uncovered the rather untold truth of the organic food industry. And I hope you all recognize that organic food is not necessarily as beneficial as it may seem. And with that, let's move back to the beginning of my speech, where I introduced you with the choice that you would have to make between organic and the non-organic apple. Before I made my speech, your decision could have leaned either way. But now that I have made my speech, I hope all of you will be able to make the smart decision and the right decision, as it is in this case, the conventional decision.